Next were Shyamalan's two great films, so let's not waste any time getting to those.
His first great film, and the one that most people associate him with, was The Sixth Sense. A child psychiatrist who failed with a previous patient now feels the urge even more to help a similarly troubled boy who is tormented by his ability to see ghosts. When this came out in 1999, it was a box office financial and critical hit, best remembered for Haley Joel Osment's unforgettable child performance, the line, "I see dead people," its dark atmosphere, and a surprise that has since become the pinnacle of twist endings, second only to "I Am Your Father." The twist is a result of a very well-crafted storytelling, so that it's undetectable during the first watch, but it's all too obvious during the second viewing. The story itself does a good job bringing all its main cast together with their own stories and connections. Aside from the doctor and the kid, you got the kid with his stressed mom, the doctor and his wife, and the constant reminder of the doctor with his former patient. And by the end, most of them have a conclusion that feels very rewarding. It's hard to say anything else about the film just because it is so well known and recognizable, but for Shyamalan himself, this movie made him an overnight sensation. That year at the Oscars, it got 6 nominations. 3 of the nominations were for Best Screenplay, Director, and Picture, all of which were accredited directly to Shyamalan. And it got audiences familiar with his style and his director trademarks, like his twist endings, settings in Philadelphia, his cameo appearances, all that, which would fall into his next great film, Unbreakable. After being the lone survivor of a terrible accident, a man begins to wonder if he has some inhuman level of strength and invincibility. He finds answers in a man with a disease that renders his bones as fragile as glass, who believes he may be a modern-day superhero. What if Superman was on Earth and didn't know he was Superman? That's how Quentin Tarantino describes this film. Pretty accurately, too. It's a very intriguing idea for a movie. It's funny because even though many people consider this to be Shyamalan's only other legitimately great film, I'm surprised by how many times I bring this movie up to people and they say they've never heard of it. As good as it is, I gotta say it's a real shame that this followed The Sixth Sense, because despite different editing and cinematography, you could definitely tell this was done by the same creator, with similar lighting, atmosphere, but also because most critics and audiences said the same thing about it.
It was good, but it's not as good as The Sixth Sense.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie title mentioned so much in movie reviews that weren't about it, aside from maybe the reviews for Disney's The Wild. Shyamalan himself said he was upset that Touchstone decided to market it as a thriller to draw the same audience that saw The Sixth Sense, as opposed to making it more like a comic book movie like he wanted. Because although it probably got audiences in their seats, in the end, I think it might have worked against it.
And truthfully, it is hard to talk about this film without bringing up The Sixth Sense, but I'm gonna do my best.
It was edgy, dark. As a comic book movie, it manages to overcome the hurdle of not having to have fight sequences or action periodically with overblown effects. It's very subtle, it's very intelligent, very in the mind. The twist ending is good, though it doesn't leave as much of a mind-blown impact as The Sixth Sense did.
Damn it, this is hard!
But it's still a good twist and will make you look at the movie differently the second time around. Shyamalan has said that the plotting of the film works like one entire first act. It's all about the discovery and origin and the accepting of his abilities. And honestly, you'd think that would have hurt the movie more than anything, but it works because it's so grounded in everyday life. It really takes its time with getting us to believe in this strange new circumstance. For some people, this is their favorite Shyamalan movie, and it's perfectly easy to understand why.